Hello, and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this Fanta Grape from Japan. And I have been spoiled on the contents of this drink by myself reading the label before we filmed this. I mean, we were filming, but it's before the intro part, so it's not going to be in the video. Um, this is weird. So I saw here it says something 1%. And so I was curious, does this contain grape juice? And it does. Um, I don't know for sure if that's what that 1% is because I can't read Japanese, and the importer's label does list grape juice as an ingredient and also grape extract, but doesn't specify the percentage. English labels, I don't know if they're required to list the percentage juice, but that's a very typical thing for them to do. Um, this That's not the really weird thing, though. Um, the really weird thing is that first listed ingredient is high fructose corn syrup, which makes sense because, as we previously discussed, these Japanese importer labels, for some reason, don't list water as an ingredient. I guess they just assume that that's assumed. Or maybe Japanese labels don't have to list water because water's water. I don't know. But it also lists sweetener. And then in parentheses, tells us that this contains stevia and ACE-K, acesulfame potassium. So this is going to be bad because it has stevia in it. I can already tell you it's not going to be good unless there is so little in here as to be undetectable because stevia, I think, is gross. Um, Also, this is a 300 milliliter can, which contains 40 calories per 100 milliliter serving. So this is 120 calories, and this can's about 10 ounces. 20 ounces is 591 milliliters, so 300 is about 10 ounces. Which means that this does have less calories in it than the American Fanta Grape, which has 280 calories in 20 ounces. So if we scaled this up to that, a container of that size would only be 240 calories, which is a little bit less, in my opinion. Not worth it for the inclusion of stevia. Um, yeah, we got this when we got the Japanese Coca-Cola, a video that you should also watch that I will link in the card. Um, from the same booth at the anime convention we were at, which was the Pete's Pops booth, which we will link below. And here goes. I like these little can bottle things, and I also like the lighter, slightly more vibrant art on this one as compared to the American packaging, which is a darker purple, which normally I prefer, but the combination makes it really bright and happy looking, and I like that. So this cap looks really cool. I'm gonna be real, I'm probably not gonna zoom in on that. But here we go. Okay, immediately it smells different than the American one, which, um, little behind the scenes, was filmed in the same filming session. So I just had that a little while ago. This one smells more like grape juice, which makes sense because we know that it has some in it. And thinking back, the guy who was running the booth that we got this from, we were talking to, did say that people say this tastes more like grape juice as opposed to grape soda flavor, from the American one, which makes sense because it has grape juice in it. We now know. Oh, now that I was not expecting. That is red. And also apparently the perfect amount to fit in this glass. Normally we don't pour the whole thing because it makes the glass look nicer, but actually this one's just the right amount. That is red. Is there any dye in this? Yes. Coloring, caramel, and anthocyanin. I don't know what that is, but it is listed as a coloring. Huh. I was prepared for it not to be as purple as the American one, because a lot of other nations more heavily regulate artificial dye in a lot of products, which might be good. I don't know. That's probably good. Um, except orange soda. Orange soda needs to be that color. But this is red though. I was not prepared for it to be red. I was prepared for it to be less purple, but I was not prepared for it to be red. It, to hold it up to a light, it's almost kind of brown. I'm kind of stunned by this color, if you couldn't tell. Um, I can maybe see how this is kind of a grape juicy color, but obviously it does also have dyes in it, so I can maybe see how they got to this. I'm not sure why they chose to go for this color. Maybe something to do with red grapes, but it's but then why not make the can red? Um, we do have a Fanta Golden Grape coming up, which is in a gold kind of can. It's not in one of these. It's in a like a can. Um, huh. All right. Um, notably, like the Japanese Coca Cola, this does have just the American Fanta Grape logo on it in English. Yeah, that does smell kind of grape juicy. Grape juicy. It's a real word. But like almost sort of like something else in there a little bit. There's probably a little bit of the grape soda ness. Let's see what this tastes like. Huh. That's. Let me have some more of that. Okay. Well, I can definitively say that this tastes more like grape juice than the American Fanta Grape does. Well, I guess that's in the video now. So is that laugh. Yeah, this is. It's so red. Maybe red grape juice is a thing. I'm only really used to seeing grape juice and white grape juice. But there are red and grape juice with no color designation is purple for anybody who doesn't have that experience. Um, but there are red grapes. I guess you could have red grape juice. But then why is the can purple? I think the disconnect there is the weirdest part to me. This is such a weird drink to me. Um, and I'm not totally sure what to think of it. I confess, I forgot this had stevia in it. Um, and I'm not sure how to feel about that because I didn't know you could put a small enough amount of stevia in something to make it acceptable and also have enough in there to have to put it on the label. I still feel like it's probably making it worse, even if I can't tell it's there. But I will not judge it more harshly just because it does have stevia in it if I can't tell. That said, I still don't think this is like amazing. Um, it's I think it's better than the American one, but do I think that, or do I just think it's more interesting? I think maybe I'm just fascinated by its strangeness. Um, I'm revising my prior statement. I think it's about as good as the American one, maybe slightly better. But it's very different. Um, I do think it's going to get a similar rating overall, but I find it much more interesting. And for that, I do give it some credit. But if I'm thinking about when I would want to drink this and how often, I don't think I would find myself reaching for this on a store shelf any more often than the American Fanta Grape. Um, unless it was to get somebody one of these so that I could have them drink it and tell me about how different it is. And to compare, I don't remember the last time I had an American Fanta Grape that wasn't related to getting it to film. So, me going to get one of these with the same frequency as me going to get one of those is me getting one of these every year or two, maybe. And it's not, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's really all that good either. It just is. At least it's interesting. If you if you're used to um American Fanta Grape or any other country's Fanta Grape that is similar in composition, and you have the opportunity to try this, I recommend it. Especially if you hate stevia, because I think it's fascinating how like not awful this is with stevia in it. Mostly just because I can't tell it's there and it doesn't have a horrid aftertaste. Kind of has a grape juice aftertaste, which is, I don't know if I'd call it a good aftertaste, but a lot better than what you would typically say or what you would typically think of when you say something has an aftertaste. But I I'm not going to give this a terribly favorable rating, but I still recommend that you try it if you have the opportunity. Um, like Sprite plus tea. I'll link that video. Go watch that video. Nobody watched that video. That's one of our worst performing videos ever. It's an interesting drink. Um, or at least as of filming it is, but that's not important right now. I've lost my train of thought. This drink, I recommend trying it, but I am not going to be drinking it very often, especially given that this is an imported drink that I would have to go out of my way to get. Um, but even if I had it readily available, I tried to say readily and regularly at the same time. It didn't work. But even if I had it readily available, I just can't see myself drinking this very often. Even though I don't really think it's bad. And so, for like the 18th time, I actually think it's the third or fourth. I do recommend that you drink at least one of these if you get the opportunity. However, as far as ratings go, I do think I'm going to have to give it just an okay.